Welcome to episode 90 of the Happy, Healthy and Healing podcast. My name is Stacey and I'm your host. And today's episode, we're going to be speaking into just coping and sailing through life versus being alive. As always, life update. So my boys started 4-year-old kinder this week and it's been a whirlwind of emotions. Super excited for them. They're very settled and the centre is a Montessori centre, which is quite aligned with our family values. So it feels really great. And though it's also pushing that belief that we're a homeschooling family. And the thing is that you get to do both. You get to do what feels great for you right now. So in this season, in this chapter, this feels great right now. That may be different next year. So for me, it's been a big reminder of you get to hold two things. You get to hold two truths, and that's okay. It's also reminded me just how far I've come with being rigid. You know, I was very rigid or narrow-minded in the past, and it was like things had to be a certain way, or I had to do these things and tick the list and achieve the goals and all the things. And it's like, no, I get to choose what life looks like in any given moment. So this works right now. This feels great right now. This is aligned to our family values. And if that changes, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean any story that I would create about myself. It just means that I'm doing what feels great right now. And I think also this leans into women and men following those gut feelings of we often shut off our gut feelings and we overtake with the overthinking, overwhelm, the over processing. And it's like we actually need to reconnect with ourselves. And I know that can sound a bit fluffy. However, it's true. You know, we lose that disconnection somewhere along the line, you know, whether it's from school or early adulthood or, you know, when we get into the workforce or uni, things like that. We are taught that we just need to do what we're told and we can't listen to ourselves or trust our own opinions. And that is not true. We know ourselves best. We know what feels great for us. And I love when women really have that realization that, hey, I can back myself and I can trust myself. And then everything opens up for them. So anyway, I digress. Let's get into it. Something I want to share really quickly is that this episode isn't designed for the woman who is feeling like her whole life is coming crashing down. And if that's you right now, I just want you to know that I'm here for you and you're always welcome to reach out. This episode is more designed for the women who are high functioning, they're super intelligent, self aware, all those things. And even if you are having a bit of a hard, challenging chapter at the moment in your life, you know, if you're that kind of woman who typically can hold it all, can function, can go to work, can go to the gym, get her groceries, do all the things and still keep going. And that's the problem. You just keep going. So you get up, you get what needs to be done, you show up, you hold it all together. And so from the outside, your life looks fine. However, inside, there's this quiet feeling that a lot of women don't want to talk about and they don't want to admit because they don't want to be seen that they're less than or they're not good enough or they're weak, whatever story they tell themselves. However, they're feeling flat. They're just moving through life, going through the motions on the hamster wheel, wake up, go to work, do the same thing on repeat. And they can't even remember the last time that they felt a lot of joy or happiness or those belly laughs that, you know, your belly literally hurts. Like they struggle to find those memories. What makes it harder is you'll tell yourself that nothing's technically wrong, so you should be fine. You know, I should be grateful. People have it worse off than I have. Like whatever story you tell yourself. And this is where I want you to think about coping a little bit differently, right? Because there is a clear distinction between coping and getting through your days and being on the hamster wheel and actually living your life. Now, disclaimer, life is not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be challenging chapters in there. However, if you've been feeling like you've just been coping for a really long time, I want you to listen in. Coping is actually not failure. It's actually really intelligent. It's what your nervous system will do as a strategic pattern to keep you safe. You know, when feeling wasn't an option, you were told stop being a sook or just get over it or just trying to push all your emotions down. When being emotional felt inconvenient, you felt shame, you felt guilty about it. Or when you learnt, probably early on, that functioning equaled a reward. So you adapted, you became the capable one, the reliable one, the strong one, and you learnt how to manage your emotions rather than experience. And for a really long time, that's worked until it hasn't. And now your emotions, you might be feeling like they're overflowing. Maybe you're getting into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Why am I so emotional? What's wrong with me? And the thing is that part of you never really disappeared. It was rather pushed down. You know, if you think about it, change just doesn't happen in one huge thing. It's often the small things that compound that create change. And that can be a positive and a negative. So if you think about it, if you felt like you don't know who you are anymore, you feel a bit lost, you feel a bit overwhelmed, you overthink a lot of things, you didn't disappear overnight. What you wanted didn't disappear overnight. It disappeared slowly and in really small ways. Like maybe you stopped noticing what you really feel like doing, so putting your needs second. You stopped asking yourself what you want just to keep the peace. And you stopped listening to your body because you knew it was just easier to override it. And you didn't numb yourself completely. However, you just stayed in the middle. So you're not miserable. However, you're not alive. You're not living your life. You're just coping. And coping for a lot of women actually feels mature. It feels responsible. It feels like you're being the good girl, a good adult. You're doing the right thing. However, coping is actually keeping you really disconnected from yourself because you just push everything down. When women start to have these, lots of feelings or emotions coming up and they come to me and they say things like, I don't know what's wrong with me, Stacey. I don't feel deeply unhappy. Nothing's wrong in my life. However, I just feel nothing. I feel emotional, then I feel nothing, and I feel like I'm just going through the motions. And what's the whole point of this? And what they're really asking me inside of that is like, why don't I actually feel alive in my own life? And the answer isn't that you're broken or anything's wrong with you at all. No, it's that your nervous system actually learnt stability over awareness. So controlling yourself over being present, safety, doing whatever you need to do to be safe over sensation. And that if everything is stable and all the pieces are held together, that is better than actually feeling alive. And feeling alive is sometimes a bit of a challenging thing for women because the more you feel alive, yes, you're going to feel some incredible highs, joy, happiness, fulfillment. However, equally, you'll experience emotional lows because you'll actually be feeling things to the depths. And that doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It's that you get to hold both, and both are equally as important. Because if you can't experience the lows, how can you expect to experience the highs? That true joy, love, happiness, fulfillment. You need to be able to hold both. And so now maybe you've started working on yourself, you've started maybe slowing down a little bit more, you've started wanting to actually work on being calm and present. Your body is like, what is going on? And though it's really just asking for more, not to do more, however, just to actually feel more. And the thing is, thinking doesn't fix this. Being in your head and overthinking, over processing, over analyzing is not going to help you feel more and feel happier, feel joy, feel fulfilled, feel like you're successful. It's not going to help you feel when you're stuck in your head. And this is really important. Like, this is a key takeaway for you today because thinking is not going to help you feel more alive. And most women that come to me, they actually just want to feel happier. They want to feel calmer. They want to feel fulfilled, feel happier. And that's all part of feeling alive in your life. So I'm not here to say that you just need to go and journal more and just have more time sitting in nature. No, that's not going to help you come back to a calm, present, happier version of you and out of that coping mode. Your body has actually learned a pattern of safety. Your nervous system has learned that over time, probably from childhood, and it just keeps evolving. And, the snowball effect keeps rolling and rolling. And you're here right now listening to this. The things that your system has probably learnt is that feeling deeply isn't safe because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable crying. I'm not sure if you've ever felt that truly uncomfortable, overwhelming feeling where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually in pain from that emotion. Your system learnt that staying alert is better than relaxing. And if you think about it, it's because our brains are wired to keep us safe. Maybe your system has learnt don't drop your guard, don't let people in because that's unsafe. They could judge me, they could hurt me, they could do something to me that makes me feel unsafe. So when you actually finally stop and maybe you've got a bit of time and you relax, your body doesn't soften, it actually panics. The alarm bells go off, which is why rest feels uncomfortable. Silence is going to feel super loud. And slowing down is going to make you want to grab your phone or plan something or clean something or do something just to avoid the feelings. And that is your protection mode. Now, if you've been listening to this and you're like, Stacey, yes, this is landing for me. This is the moment that a lot of women realize, oh my gosh, I can actually see what's been happening with my patterns for most of my life now. And it can actually be really confronting when you start to unravel these things and you realize how deeply you don't feel like you in your life, or you don't feel that happiness or joy or fulfillment. And a lot of women will actually retreat back to safety, to what they know, to go, I'm just going to shut all those thoughts down because they're too hard to deal with and I can't change my life. And I'm not saying you need to come here and burn your whole life to the ground today or anything specific needs fixing. However, you do need to create some space for yourself to actually open the lid of your emotions or your thoughts or your feelings, whatever's happening, and to actually start to work through them. Because I can tell you right now, they are only going to get louder. Just because you tell yourself, I'm not going to think of it right now, doesn't mean it's going to shut off. You can only push it down for so long. And I suppose this is where the retreats that I host are so powerful, because women actually get the space. They get the space to soften. They get the space to feel supported. They get the space to actually just think and have a guided experience on how to process all these things in their life. They don't actually know how to go from, oh, everything's fine, it's okay, to feeling that fulfillment, that joy, that happiness, that aliveness in their life. And that's where retreat is a beautiful process, because we take you on that journey from A to B. And yes, there'll probably be some emotion that comes up. And that's the whole point, is you feel safe enough to actually express yourself and to be seen and heard for maybe the first time in your whole life. Like, women walk in on Friday and they're so tense. And literally by Sunday, their nervous system has had this reset that they literally feel like they're walking on a cloud. And most of them haven't felt that in their whole entire life. And now that they have that reference point, they're like, oh, okay, I know things need to change. And I'm a very practical person. And that's where it's like these small steps are going to help you snowball effect your life in the other direction, towards more space, more calm, more presence, all the things that you want to feel now that you're not feeling. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, Stacey, did you read my mind again? Yes, I probably did. And I want you to know that I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you take those next steps, whether that's retreats, my group coaching, my one-to-one, whatever it is. I'm all about those small little steps. So if you really feel like this episode has made it all click for you, I want you to reach out and say, Stacey, this is me. What can I do next? So for today, I want you to reflect on this episode. Where are you actually not feeling alive in your life? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what are the steps in between that you can take? And again, start small, start practical, because change isn't going to happen overnight. It's a compound effect of every single day. And each day you may not get it 100%, and that's okay. It's about the consistency over time. So thank you as always for tuning in. And if you got value from this episode, please share it with a friend, rate it 5 stars, subscribe to YouTube, whatever it is. I truly appreciate it, because I'm on a mission to impact 1 million women through retreats, my courses, my coaching, my podcast, all the things. So every time you share with someone, it helps me on my mission. Have a great day, and I'll chat to you on the next episode.